All right, we're back at it again. And today we are reviewing the Prada's Menswear Fall Winter 2025 fashion show. I'm sure you see it as it's literally on the screen. But anyway, like I'm now starting to do in all my fashion videos, I'm going to read the description here and see if it coincides with the show. So, an expression of instinct. Prada and Raf Simons present the Fall Winter 2025 menswear collection, exploring human nature and the truth in unlearned reactions, automatic responses, and primitive urges. Okay, real talk. I will literally always say this, but I hate when fashion houses use vague descriptions to basically like justify whatever they might have in their show. Now, there's nothing wrong with abstract explanations, but it's abstract to cover up the fact that the collection is lackluster. Like, we have to be so serious. Like, sometimes when I'm reading the Vogue website, it's like that. And that's like no shade to the writers for Vogue. Also, Vogue, if you need a fashion writer, I don't know, hire me. I don't know. But, like, again, that's no shade to the Vogue writers, but it's just like if a fashion is not necessarily confusing, or if a fashion collection is not great, like we should have a space where we're able to say that. Like this, like, oh, I know that realistically it's all about, like the business and whatever, but it's just like you have to be serious. Like, what I say, like you have to be fucking serious. Again, I haven't seen the Prada collection yet because I'm literally reviewing it for this video. So maybe I'll eat my words, but like realistically, when you see or hear exploring human nature, truth and unlearned reactions, automatic responses, and primitive urges, what the fuck are you picturing? Like, like human nature, okay, truth and unlearned reactions. And if I told you translate that into an outfit, what the fuck would you have in your head? I mean, I have an idea in my head, but that doesn't make it any less like stupid. But anyway, let's just move on here. Romance shapes the collection as a movement, elevating emotion and passion above the rationale. Okay, I really like that description. Doesn't make it any less abstract, but whatever. Spontaneous choices reveal a new sophistication, embodying an intimate, savage elegance. Real talk, all of like this entire description, I feel like does not match up with each other. Like, I'm just gonna be so real with you. It seems like here, the core of the collection is romance. I really wonder how you could showcase that in menswear, but we'll see, I guess. But it says romance shapes the collection as a movement, elevating emotion and passion above the rationale. Like realistically, how does that coincide with truth and unlearned reactions? Like low key, I'm not even gonna hold you. I'm kind of tearing this one apart a little bit more than I usually do. But it's just like, can we can we be serious? And then spontaneous choices reveal new sophistication, embodying intimate, savage elegance. Question mark, question mark, question mark. But you know what? Let me stop being a hater and let's actually review the collection. Okay, let's go. Like, can we be so fucking serious? Oh my freaking god. Also, I'll just mention this right off the bat. Since I am using a mic, there's no audio. Um, and I'll try to like put in audio, but if there's some places where it seems like there's no audio, it's probably because I just got too lazy. But anyway, like, can we be so fucking serious? Like, what? Like, listen again. Fashion is very subjective. Every fashion house has its different elements or main elements. And this is really no shade to the creative directors over at Prada, but we've got to be so serious, guys. Can you tell me What's the spontaneous choices here? Where's the center of romance in these flower boots? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, okay. I need to stop being like me. Oh, this is literally just the first outfit too. Let's keep going. Oh, this is another thing that I should have mentioned. Um, Set design is always something that I will mention, especially because I want to get into set design and like fashion production and stuff like that. Obviously, this almost gives off like a warehouse vibe. Now, there wasn't any explanation about the description or about the set design in the description, so I think this is really interesting. Again, you see the bars, you see the metal poles. This almost mimics like a warehouse or like a construction site. I find it really interesting how like the bare metal low key contrasts to what looks straight up like carpeting on the floor or on the ground. I think that's a really interesting like touch to this set. Me personally, again, even though I haven't seen the whole collection yet, I feel like the background or I feel like the set design is not going to make sense with a collection. But again, let's see. Mhm. 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 Okay. Okay. I'm not sure if I posted it yet, but I covered the Saint Laurent men's fashion show, and low key, this looks very similar to something that was in their fashion show. Um, I think I have posted it. But yeah, this looks very similar to something that was in their fashion show. Now again, I'm not gonna be like, oh, they're stealing, like, oh, no, but fashion is very similar in many places, in many instances. But overall, to say that or in saying that, this look is stupid. And that's all I've got on that. Oh, I actually like this look. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I actually like this. I like the fact that the plaid is done in two different colorways. This is also something I think was in the Saint Laurent men's show. Again, we're not gonna read too much into that, but I actually like this look. Ironically enough, I don't like the fact that it's not buttoned up. But I think the contrast, not necessarily contrasting, but the different tones of plaid, I think that's honestly a really good look. Mm. Yeah, I'm really getting the romance. I'm getting the savage elegance, as they said, from these pointed heel, these pointed toe boots. You know that meme? Oh, Roach don't stand a chance in the corner. Oh my gosh. Okay, anyway. Dude. Like again, I know some people are probably gonna be like, oh, you're not even behind the scenes in fashion. Like you wouldn't know. It's like, yeah, that's true. And that'll change, trust me. But my eyes still work. And what's happening here is not favorable to my eyes. Like honestly, what the fuck is going on? Like listen, I know again that fashion houses when they're doing their thing, not every collection is going to be like a 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10. Like that's just the obvious reality of creative work, but like we have to be so fucking serious. Like I don't want to go into anything deeper cuz I just want to continue on with the show, but it's crazy to listen to articles or to read articles where people are anonymously complaining behind the scenes, like people who actually work for these companies, and they're like, "Oh, people who have such good ideas are being written off." And it's like, what are these ideas if something like this is making it to the runway? Like, you have to be so fucking serious. It looks like he just went thrifting. Anyway, also, I'm just gonna let it run here. This also looks like something like the coat. This looks like something that was done at Saint Laurent that I reviewed. Honestly, it looks like a worse version of it. The pants, the coat. The coat, honestly, it probably costs more than anything I have, but it looks cheap. Even like the fur on the coat also looks very like cheap, like a theater, like a high school theater department put this together. I feel so bad for these models. Like honestly, I feel so bad for these models because I just can't imagine having to wear this. Okay, we have a more normal outfit here. And I see a not so normal outfit behind it. But like you just gotta be fucking serious. Again, this more normal outfit, very simple, very basic. I feel like the coat or the red of the coat is a bit mismatched here. I feel like it would have made more sense if it was blue, um, or even gray would have made more sense too. Overall, I think if you took the coat away from this look, it would probably be a lot better. Okay, what do we still roll with you guys? Like, I've really been trying to consider artistic perspective when I'm doing this review or when I'm doing my fashion reviews, but no amount of artistic perspective is making this make sense. Like, oh my gosh, like I know some people are gonna be like, "Oh, you just don't get it." Yeah, thank God. But like, we have to be so serious. Like, my personal opinion is that menswear is a bit stagnated, and I feel like that should change or that should be able to change. But like, what amazing explanation are you pulling out in terms of making this outfit make sense? Like, genuinely, the way that I regard art. Oh, let me just keep going here. But the way that I regard art is that art is subjective, creative expression is subjective. But if you do something, whatever it may be, piece of media, TV show, movie, painting, outfit, if you do something and then you have to give this long ass explanation for movies and TV shows is a bit more justified, consist like continue. Can I speak English? No. But with movies and TV shows, it's a bit more justified considering that it is a medium where you could like interlace so many different like allegories and stuff like that and like symbolism and like within movies and TV shows there's a lot more that you can do, so it makes sense why you would have longer explanations. When it comes to like an art piece, if there is an actual like symbolism, like I consider fashion outfits art pieces, if there isn't so much symbolism or there isn't, a whole bunch of different pieces that go into it, and yet you still see somebody giving like this long ass explanation as to, oh, like this is what this means or this is what this means and da da da. Like they're giving this like 6 degrees of separation ass explanations where it's like, oh, the blue of this coat actually translates to the continuous founding of the color blue, but then the color blue is actually appropriated from water, but then you think about the vast expanseness of a body of water like the ocean, and then this is really meant to represent the ocean. It's like that fucking 6 degrees of separation ass explanation. Like if you have to hop around like that to get to the end point of your explanation, I think that's ridiculous. Like I really do think that's ridiculous. In certain cases it makes sense or it's needed, but in most cases it's basically an excuse. And I feel like the description of this video was like a premeditated excuse. But anyway, I just want to mention that again, romance was considered the center of this collection, and I've barely seen any red. There's only been a little bit of it. Hmm. Genuinely, at a certain point, we have to consider that some of these fashion shows are for tax write off expenses, are for money laundering, because those explanations would make a lot more sense than a storied and veteran and learned creative director believing that this collection was good. Like, straight up crime would make more sense than a creative director believing that this collection was good. Like again, I know again people are gonna be like, oh, you just don't get it. Like these are the new hot trends of the year, which no, that's not true. But also it's just like we have to be so serious. Like we have to be so serious. Like what are we actually talking about right now? Oh my fucking god. Like honestly, I know some people what the fuck was I even gonna say? This fucking outfit just like took me out. But anyway, I know some fashion houses when they do runway shows, they also want to advertise like accessories, handbags, whatever. I feel like realistically, if you know as a fashion house that you just want to advertise handbags or whatever is your new collection of bags, then just do that. Like just show the bags. Like there are fashion houses that, and even not even just fashion houses, but some like brands that are specifically just sell bags that do that. I feel like that is what some of these fashion houses want to do, but then they realize that they can just like double whammy it by showing clothes and bags. But it's like be so fucking serious. Like just look at this outfit. Just look at this outfit. Be so fucking for real. Like you got to be serious. The striped pants, these pointed toe red boots, the oversized, maybe like wool brownish sweater. What the fuck are we actually talking about? Like I'm really trying to not to be like too super candid, but like you have to be so serious. Like bro, come on. Also, I'm not sure if you guys noticed this, but I'm just wondering what the fucking like anchor charms are about. Like what the fuck is that about? If you notice here, they even have it on some of their like clothes. Like what the fuck is that about? Like hell, this is like what I'm talking about. Like I understand again, there's probably some like deep-seated explanation behind the scenes as to why they have this kind of stuff, but I mean, does it still make sense within the scope of this collection? No. Anyway, let's keep going. Let me just like go back here for a second. This outfit right here, this is literally one of the more normal looking okay outfits in here. And even so, it is completely ruined by those pointed toe flower boots. Like, what actually is going on? Like, what? Maybe there's some genre of super rich person that I'm not aware of because I'm not rich yet. Hopefully, anyway, yeah, maybe there's some genre of like rich person. Also, sorry if it sounds like I'm like slurring or something. I'm just low key very tired. But anyway, again, maybe there's some genre of rich person that I'm not aware of that would wear boots like this. Maybe the genre is has too much money, but is willing to spend it on stupid shit. But whatever the genre may be, I'm just like, what exactly are these pointed ass boots for? Like these pointed toe boots? What the hell is going on? Oh my gosh. Okay, let's just keep going. Okay, that was the end of that. And honestly, I'm gonna keep it, or I'm gonna try to keep it a bit short here. First off, I rate this collection 0 out of 10. Like, you have to be so fucking serious. I I'm not gonna act like I'm the biggest Prada aficionado, but I do watch their shit alongside everybody else. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, this is, oh my gosh. And again, I will always say it's very unrealistic to expect creatives to always deliver something that is 10 out of 10. Some people's creative minds are not like unlimited, like the creative well is not unlimited, and people do face burnout. So I'm never going to be like, oh, this shit is trash. You're a trash creative director or artist or whatever. Like sometimes that's just what it is. Sometimes you put out a bad collection, it's lackluster, and then you just go back to the drawing board. Um, but this, like, I just know, first of all, Prada, like, it's Prada. Like, this is a billion-dollar corporation. I know for a fact that even if their creative director is facing burnout, like, you have the means to have other designers. Like, and I know there's other designers behind the scenes. Like, we have to be so serious. Um, and this is another thing that's kind of like my own opinion, is that I believe that creative directors, it should be like a team. Like, I don't believe that a fashion house should have one creative director at the helm unless it's like the founder of the house. Even then, some founders of their houses, they enlist other designers. But I think when you're introducing a new creative director, having one person at the helm, I feel like is a bit redundant. Just because, again, creative burnout. There's definitely people who also have and want to contribute their own good ideas to a collection or to a fashion house. So realistically, I feel like when a fashion house is looking for a creative director, it should at least be two. Like, I don't feel like it should just be one. And especially, this is another thing. Obviously, like the world we live in. Sorry, I was like trying to fix something with my mic. What other world we live in? Like, obviously, we see how there's less than pleasant attitudes towards people who are not straight white dudes. I should even say straight because look at the industry we're talking about. But you know what I mean. There's less than pleasant attitudes towards anybody who isn't a fucking white dude, and even within the fashion world, people are pointing out how it is literally the same 5 or 6 or 7 like white dudes who get like flopped around the industry to be creative directors. And like, you've got to be fucking serious. There are amazing fresh young minds, cough cough myself, but no, but there are fresh amazing young minds that already work at these fashion houses. Like, there's no reason we should be seeing like the same thing over and over and over again. And I can't remember who it was. I think it was the new creative director at Alexander McQueen. When he got appointed, it was either him or somebody else around that time. when they got appointed, there was an article that was released talking about how, again, like majority of the people who go to fashion school, majority of the people who work behind the scenes, majority of the people in the fashion industry are women. Yet why is there like hardly any women that are at the helm of these fashion houses? And like, mind you, we're talking about fashion houses that are not based upon their founders. Like Michia, oh, that's how I say her name properly. Michia Prada. Like, she is obviously at the helm of this fashion house with Raf Simons. Um, Vera Wang is at the helm of her own fashion house. Iris Van Herpen is at the helm of her own fashion house. Sarah Burton was at the helm of Alexander McQueen, but that's also because she worked for years with Alexander McQueen. But it's just like, of course, there's obviously more to go on. But when you look at these big name fashion houses, it's just like there's so many talented people that there's so many talented people. So why are we always seeing the same people over and over again? And again, like, we have to be so serious. The quality of what's being put out is like degrading all the time. And me personally, because I do believe that people should ask themselves, like, what more can we do in fashion? Of course, there's a lot more to be done that can be accessed by creative minds, but it just feels like we're not seeing that being presented for these fashion shows, like, whatsoever. So again, I'm giving this collection a 0 out of 10 after that yap session. Giving this collection a 0 out of 10. This honestly felt like a waste of my time. Um, if there's something deeper to be explored, I would love to hear it, but this just felt like just unnecessary. Like, honestly, you could have just kept this collection, honestly. Or you honestly could have just sent the whole thing out in one go. Remember when Marc Jacobs did that? They just sent out every model in one go, and the fashion show was like 30 seconds. Yeah, this should have been that. But anyway, okay, that's enough for me. Bye now.